lives in Davao with her 3 dogs and 5 cats. She is into underexposed photos and digital art. Richard Saiken is probably her favorite poet this month. Probably. She believes there is a song about anything and everything. To perform for us, Marcella, let us welcome Miss Cresty Joy Contrata.
So, hi guys, good evening. I find this poem very timely because of the death of a fellow Gabriela Youth member. I dedicate this reading to you, Jo Lapira, pinakamataas na pagpupugay. Marcela by C.F. Paderna. In memory of Marcela Agoncillo, mother of the Philippine flag. Surely what you knew as you threaded the needle, what your labor meant. The blood in red, the peace is blue, the sun seamless as our islands never were. Back home, a war in earnest, garrote and gunfire, a language of both Spaniard and Indio understood. Exiled in Hong Kong, you must have known what, as a woman, you could only do. How our country's flag, silk like water, in your hands was made beautiful by its limits. If you could just see us now, your banner waving above offices, our women at work beside men. Girls drive cars these days, and we are told that this country is our own. But still, we see red in lives spilt on the streets, and death flowers blue in the corpses at dawn. 100 years ago, you must have thought, I can only do so much. Here we are now, daughters as you were of this country, and you have done much. Embroidered freedom into the fabric of our longing, hued the sun so we need not shield our eyes. Marcella, we are still at war. But we are finally women with choice. And we choose to fight now. We choose to be as eloquent as your craft. And we reject all the limits. Conqueror or dictator be damned. It was Marcella Garcia.
So our last reader for tonight is currently a faculty member at the University of the Philippines, Mindanao, Department of Humanities. He had been a fellow for poetry in several national writers' workshops, such as Siliman National Writers Workshop in Dumaguete and IAS National Writers Workshop in Bacolod. His poems have been published in international journals and various national publications. For us to read his own poem, Tokhang, Mr. Daryl Rubino.
May sound effects pa.
Oh, I just realized this right now reiterates what is happening, because while we are reading, having a poetry reading, the other side of the Philippines is celebrating whatever it is they are celebrating. It's a poem. Yeah. Well, I would just like to point out what Crip Yuson said in the introduction. He quoted Ezra Pound saying that our artists, the poets, are the antennae of race. So if ever there is something wrong, we are the ones who can give voice to those who are silent. And as per John F. Kennedy, he said, when power corrupts, poetry cleanses. And this mainly is the purpose of this collection. To sort of start a cleansing. And so to go to my poem, I have to explain further and a lot because it's very short actually. So just to take some time. This poem started with, this is the kind of poem that starts with that first line. And it's the kind of first line that lasts for like 2 to 3 weeks. It was just one line for 2 to 3 weeks until suddenly I realized it could mirror what is happening in the society right now in our country. And because I was a jerk for the sound of poetry, the music in poetry. So the first title of this poem was A Study of Sound. And then later, when I received an email from Crip Yuson asking for a contribution, the call for submission, so I realized this poem could also, this poem fits the collection, the anthology, so I changed the title to Tokhang. So you will know after this, while I read. Okay, so, yan. Thank you. Hindi, parang ano naman. Ayan, okay. Okay. Tokhang. More to roses than their roots, they fake love swaying with the wind, the inevitability of change. Night attends to the garden to lull them to sleep. The weak let go and weather with the season. Yellow leaves go first. Roots dig deep below the surface, wider than the branches. By the day, the gardener names roses and only roses, while the leaves have all fallen to the ground. Thank you.